Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dawn Nerds. I'm your host Charlie, and welcome to the definitive guide to unlocking the Shaun of the Dead cameo level in Funko Fusion. I've seen loads of guides online that show how to get to the level, but not the prerequisites that you need to do to actually unlock the level. There's a couple of things first that you need to do. As you can see in the video, obviously I'm playing as the Scott Pilgrim level. This level is needed because you need the amplifier to be able to access the cameo area. To get the amplifier, all you need to do is collect all the blue tokens that are in the start area on the first level of Scott Pilgrim. Now, you can do this in multiple ways. You can choose Scott Pilgrim as one of the first worlds you go to. But be aware, you're going to also have to unlock 2 other worlds to get to that point. You can see here, once the amp's unlocked though, and you've gathered the 3 parts, they are in the starting area where the little boss is throwing all the stuff. Once they've done that, you can quit, return to factory. That job is done. You now need to then do the same on Battlestar Galactica, and it's the start of the actual game itself, this level where you have to kind of guide the woman and child through the level. As you're guiding them through, you'll come across the blue chests. You have to obviously clear the fire. Once the fire is clear, gather all the blue tokens. They're in the area just by the actual machine that you can take them to. And once you've done that, you'll unlock the sentry turret, which is the second component needed to unlock the cameo level for Shaun of the Dead. Now, a lot of people are just kind of showing, oh, you need this and you need that, but not showing where to get it. So I figured this part was really important, and I haven't seen anyone else actually do that yet. So once you've got all that, you'll see it says Sentry Tower unlocked. Again, you only have to do the first level of Battlestar Galactica and the first level of Scott Pilgrim. You don't have to finish them, you just have to go into it. Once you've done that, you have to load up the Thing chapter. Now, this is only the first level. Prerequisite for this is that you have to have finished the first level of the Thing to be able to access the cameo area, because the characters you need are obviously Scott Pilgrim and the Battlestar Galactica character. Once you've got the electronic amp, turn it onto the orange mode, shatter away the glass, and then move the amp out of the way. Once the amp's out of the way, you can go and get the sentry turret. I've seen people switch characters. You don't need to switch characters. You can literally go straight to it and grab the sentry turret. Be aware, though, the helicopter and the enemies in the area can do a lot of damage. And you'll find that they kind of block you from being able to actually use the machine, which is kind of annoying, but you can work around it. Okay, so you can see here I had to move out of the way whilst the machine was actually making the sentry turret. Once the sentry turret's made, you can actually run faster by using the B button or circle. It gives you that dash ability. Or you can jump as well, which makes it a little bit quicker. Put the sentry turret down in front of the X and you'll see the lights going up. Once the lights go up, the door will be activated and you can go inside, flip the switch and collect the crown to start the cameo level. So once inside the cameo level, obviously you get to play as Shaun. As soon as you come out of the garage, you can choose him as a character. You can see Nick. Obviously we've got Mum and Phil, or Barbara. And obviously they're driving the Jag, and you have to guide them to the Winchester pub, which is obviously an iconic location in the game. There's a few areas in this that can prove a little bit tricky. It's great seeing all the zombies coming out of the houses and kind of gathering around. A great moment if you're a fan of the series. This Funko Fusion game kind of delivers in the sense of being able to play as Hot Fuzz and obviously Shaun of the Dead. It's a shame the World's End wasn't in there somewhere. I'd love to see it as a cameo level, or even just like kind of another level based around it. I think that would be quite cool. But there's a few areas in this that can prove to be quite tricky. The first area, obviously, that you guys are seeing now, you have to go up into the house and use Scott Pilgrim to glide over to the other way, the other side of the street. Once you get to the other side of the street, obviously you can see your friend barfing there. If any of you have seen the film, you'll know about him. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And once you go over, obviously turn the wheel, turn off the fire, and go through the garden area where all of a sudden everything's going to start bursting out and you have to kind of defend everyone on there. You can see there's quite a few zombies in this area, but it's not too bad. You can deal with it. Just stay near the car, and the car will obviously keep moving as long as it's not being attacked at the time, which you can see if there are zombies in front of the car will not move. Fun little fact though, as you can see, obviously Shaun does turn into a zombie if he takes enough damage, which I thought was a really cool little feature. just to see him as a zombie, because obviously the only time we ever actually see that is when he pretends to be one towards the end of the film. Now, as you come to the close of the garden area, you're going to come up to Liz's flat, which is obviously where in the film Shaun climbs up to the window, and obviously he rescues Liz and her friends, Dave and Diana. They take them obviously into they go through the actual like garden area. So they've kind of done it in a backwards way, but I presume that they're making that presumption that us have split up from them, because obviously at this point Mum and Phil, particularly Phil, isn't around. So yeah, spoilers for the film. Most of you have probably seen it by this point. If you haven't, you definitely need to check it out. I did try and get up into the actual like flat area where Liz's house is. You can't actually go anywhere. You can't see inside Liz's flat. But I thought it was worth a little effort to try and build a little trampoline to get up there. This part, you obviously have to use the Battlestar Galactica character to activate the tow truck. Tow truck moves the vehicle out of the way. Once that's done, you can then obviously use the gas canister to blow up the red area on the truck, which you guys will see me doing now. Blow that up. That clears the debris or the vehicle from the area and allows obviously Mum, Nick and Phil to travel through. Upon entering the next area, you guys are going to find yourselves in front of a massive green gate. This gate, I thought you could just jump over with the trampoline because you actually jump high enough. You can see here I actually try. And you do jump high enough. I don't know why there's an invisible wall there. They should have just let you jump over it, but I guess they wanted you to swap characters and obviously try other ways. But you can't shoot through the lock. You can't jump over. There's an invisible wall. So you actually have to go into the shop that's just across from the road. And in doing so, when you enter the shop, the alarm bells will start going. To deactivate the alarm bells, you need to play as the Battlestar Galactica. You can see the alarm bells have got the little Battlestar Galactica symbol on them. You can see there just next to the for elec. There's like a little red thing on the wall. You need to shoot that. That will stop the alarms. There's 3 alarms altogether. There's one on the front of the building. There's one inside. And there's also one inside the cabinet room, which is where you have to use Scott Pilgrim's guitar amp to disable or enable this door that I'm just going down to now. So you can't actually get through any of that door without actually doing half of this bit that you guys will see now, where you kind of go into the area, you shoot the little thing. So you can see up here, all you have to do is just shoot it till it turns green. That deactivates the alarm. Once the actual alarm itself is deactivated, you can then obviously enable you to go upstairs and do the other parts. And like I said, there are 3 alarms, so make sure you get all 3. Otherwise, the zombies do not stop coming. If one of them's still active, the zombies will still keep coming, and you'll end up getting swarmed, which can be a bit tricky. And obviously, the zombies in this game, as well as just the enemies in this game in general, actually do quite a lot of damage. So you can see there, that was the amp where I had to previously use it to open up the actual door itself. And then afterwards, go upstairs, take the amp upstairs as Scott Pilgrim, turn it onto the blue, charge it up, and then you'll be able to jump across to the garden area. Once you're in the garden area, you can shoot the lock, open up the gate, clear off the zombies, and let Mum, Nick and Phil through. So once Mum, Nick and Phil are through, you'll come to like a roadblock area, which you guys will notice that it's a bit of a weird one because you have to find a fuse. Now, to get the fuse, you're going to have to switch between a couple of different characters. You can't shoot the glass. It doesn't work. You have to use the amplifier again. So I set up a little trampoline there, which is obviously quite handy because you can't unlock that roadblock that you guys are seeing on screen now without going into this area, into the little shed area, and getting the fuse. So you're going to need an amplifier. You're also going to need Scott Pilgrim. Okay, and then obviously you're going to need... I switched over to the Battlestar Galactica character. I don't know if you need him, but I switched over to him anyway, but you guys will see. Once you obviously take the amplifier up to the roof, activate it using the orange, You see here, obviously, I'm using the orange one to actually activate it to break in. Once the glass is broke, you can fall through the roof. Now in here, there's two different things that you're going to need. There's cylinders and there's a switch on the wall. The cylinders go inside that machine, and when you activate the switch, what it does is it moves upwards. You have to shoot through it from the opposite side. So you can see there's a red and a blue one. You have to shoot through it as it's going past the blue symbol, and you guys will see it fill up. Okay? So this took me a while to figure out. I was like, how am I meant to actually do this? And I'll be honest, it was like, right. It wasn't until I was like, right, this thing keeps going backwards and forwards. And you'll see as you shoot through it, the white lights go on, which obviously then enables the actual switch to be activated. And you can keep flicking it backwards and forwards. And once you've found the point where you're like, right, okay, you see all the lights go on, the fuses go on. Okay, then you need to swap it over to the red one and do the same going the other way. And at which point the green fuse box in the middle will explode. You can't shoot it until it's directly in front of it. I've tried, it didn't work. And okay, and you guys can see there, obviously, once that's activated, all the lights come on, the fuses overload, it blows out, and then obviously you guys can move on to chucking the fuse in the actual switch, and then it leads to this cutscene, which is really, really cool, because obviously we see the car crash with the Jag, and obviously we don't get the music and everything like that happens in the film. Sorry, Philip. Philip gets beaten up, okay? He gets kicked by Nick, and then obviously Shaun kind of stamps on him a little bit. They all run off, and obviously you see the friends in the background. This part in the film, usually there's all of them pretending. Obviously you can see here Shaun showing them how to pretend to be zombies. And then obviously you have a nice little scene which is similar to the film, but in the sense of you don't have the friends with you when you do it. And you have to guide yourself up the road until you get to the Winchester pub, which you guys can see on the right. Now, I'm going to leave this part unedited. The reason being is obviously it's quite a cool little battle, and there's quite a cool few little scenes that play out that if you're a fan of the film, or like Nick Frost and Simon Pegg and just the Cornetto trilogy in general, you're going to love this particular part. I was desperate to get a guide out so that people could experience this, because I was like, they need to. So you can see obviously here we've got Barbara and Nick. They run off, or Barbara and Ed. I keep calling him Nick. Ed, it's Nick Frost, that's why. Barbara and Ed obviously run to the front of the Winchester. You have to effectively clear out all the zombies as much as possible. I found that they actually died and I had to revive them. Obviously, when you revive characters in this game, you lose some of your own life as well. So you have to be quite careful. You can see here there's quite a lot of zombies that gather in the area. So I end up using the cricket bat and just kind of swinging through them in all hoping that I got through. But again, you do take a lot of damage in this game. So just be careful as you're doing that you haven't lost previous lives and that you've actually got enough health to obviously get through this particular section. Like I said, you can see here reviving Ed, and they come back, but obviously it takes away your life as well. So just be really careful with that. And once they're done and they're defended, you'll get a nice little cutscene that will lead into the ending of the Cameo level. But other than that, so you see here now, it's obviously said grab the fun key. You can grab the fun key, you run around the back, you open up the back of the Winchester pub. You can revive them if you want. I did, just because obviously I felt bad just kind of leaving them there. It says, obviously, it says you don't have enough health. Run around the back of the Winchester, open up the actual pub itself. You get a nice little scene inside the pub. I'd love to explore it a little bit more, but hopefully you can do that. You could obviously run around before grabbing that. And then you get the scene where they have the Don't Stop Me Now by Queen playing on the jukebox, and everything just goes a bit haywire. The bar gets set on fire and it's all a bit panicky. And I love the pool cues. It's a shame they couldn't have the song playing. It would be amazing if they did. Obviously riots and everything like that, it's a shame they couldn't. And there's the dart in the head before Shaun wears the bandana, Simon Pegg's character. I love the fact that they wrote these films as well. And then obviously they sit down, have a nice cold pint and wait for all this to blow over. I love the fact they're not fazed by him as well. It's amazing. There you go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Obviously, stick around for more, and I'll try and get as many guides out as I can for you guys. Take care and have a good one.